Now, welcome back to another great episode of Audio Voices. It's my pleasure being your host, and it's also an honor to be featuring today one great leader from our community, Peter Ortiz, who has been heavily involved with a lot of advocacy here in the East Side of San Jose. He's also a current candidate for District 5 in City Council. A great individual, and it's still one of the things I hope that y'all get from him is that, again, for many of us, we're always trying to find a way to create change within the community, right? And I want to I want to continue to encourage y'all to, take on political spaces, take on positions of power, make sure that, we could actually have some representation in the places that matter, right? We vote for folks to, represent us. And so it's what better way to have a representation and actually, elect our own folks, to take on those kind of spaces. So go ahead and just tune into the palabra from Peter Ortiz. Nada más go ahead and allow DJ Velas to go ahead and hit the roll.
Hello everyone, my name is Peter Ortiz. I'm currently the president of the Santa Clara County Board of Education, and I'm a candidate for San Jose City Council, District 5. I'm running for the San Jose City Council because I've never seen anyone with my lived experiences represented on our local city council. If elected, I'm the only one in this race that is a renter. I am the only one who's grew up in a system-impacted home. My lived experiences provide me a lens that many other elected officials have zero insight to, right? And when I make my decisions, I'm going to be making them with our city's most vulnerable populations in mind. I'm proud to have been born and raised in East San Jose to a working class family, raised by my single mother. Her name's Catherine Ortiz, who struggled to raise both my brothers and I on a one-person income. My mother worked full-time as a healthcare worker, and it was thanks to her union that she was able to earn enough wages to afford rent and keep food on the table here in the city of San Jose. There was many times where we had to struggle and panic in order to afford the rent, but my mother was always resourceful. She was strong, and she was an accountable single Latina mother who made sure that she dedicated her life to her children. And it was watching my mother struggle that gave me, right, the motivation to want to give back to my community, so that regardless of what zip code someone lived in, their social status, or their nation of origin, they can pursue their goals and reach their dream here in the city of San Jose. My background isn't the traditional background of an elected official. I'm not someone who has built my wealth in politics or has built my career working for elected officials. I come from a working class home that was impacted both by domestic violence and gang activity. Many of my older family members were involved in gangs. That's what I was exposed to. That's what I was taught at a young age, what a man was in the community. I always didn't make the best decisions. At the age of 12, I did choose to join a gang. And that was a mistake at that age, but those were the options that were given to me as a youth, as a young brown man living in East San Jose. Luckily, due to the love of my mother and the strength of my foundation of core supporters, I was able to turn my life around, right? And I saw that if I really wanted to take pride in the East Side, if I really wanted to take pride in la causa, in our comunidad, right, then I want to better our community, right? I want to make sure that our kids have resources for when they go to their school every day. I want to make sure that our public library in our community is fully funded, right? I want to make sure that we have a pipeline to livable wage careers so that our youth and working class families from East San Jose can take part of all the wealth that is generated here in Silicon Valley. Because as we know, for generations, right, East San Jose has been underfunded, it's been under-resourced, right, and it's been underinvested in. And that's why I'm running for city council. I want to put an end to this systemic disinvestment and this systemic, right, oppression that has put our families in East San Jose, right, at a lower chance of success to their counterparts throughout the rest of the city. My life took a turn when I hit rock bottom, right? I realized that I was doing more bad than good in my community. You know, at times when you're involved in a street gang, you find yourself hurting people that look just like you, who have similar experiences as you did, who grew up, you know, in single parent homes, multiple families in a home, right? Working class, who are part of the struggle. Things that you have more in common with, right, than you have differences. All for whether it's a street or whether it's a color, right? I realized that that did nothing but hurt our community. You know, and who does that help? That doesn't help our people, right? That doesn't help raza, that doesn't help our gente, right? You can do way more out here for your family and for your people on the streets than you can ever do behind a jail cell, right? But I personally had to hit rock bottom, and I was arrested, and it made me face a reality, right? If I did not change my life, I was going to end up either dead or in prison. Every month, I was either ending up in a hospital bed or arrested, waking up in a jail cell, right? I knew that if I did not change my life, that was only hurting my mother, that was only hurting my family, and those who I love around me, right? If we really want to take pride in our community and take pride in our people, right? We're going to want to make sure that our families are being taken care of, right? That our families have access to the best resources in their neighborhoods. That our families aren't continuing to get pushed out of East San Jose and being forced to move to the valley due to the cost of living, right? That's what got me involved in the movement for ethnic studies, both on the Mount Pleasant School Board and now on the Santa Clara County Board of Education, where I was able to partner with individuals just like myself, individuals from the Chicano community, from the Asian American community, from the Black and African American community, to implement true change so that our youth can see themselves embedded in their curriculum, regardless of their skin color or their nation of origin, right? That is the true causa, right? Making sure that you are taking radical change to benefit our people in the streets and in the community. You know, as I mentioned, right, I was able to turn my life around, you know, from being in a street gang and fighting other individuals who looked just like me and who had similar experiences just like me, to fighting the systemic oppression of our people, right? Fighting our true enemies, right? Which is systemic racism, inequality, and lack of resources in our community, right? I'm running for city council because I want to restructure how our city provides resources and services to our families in East San Jose and to our most vulnerable. So I 100% encourage anyone who's watching this video, any youth, any person of color, any member of the working class community, right, to run for office. We need your voice, right? Many times in boardrooms, I find myself being the only one with my lived experience, the only one who understands, right, the stories that I'm sharing in order to justify my vote. Time and time again, we elect career politicians. We elect individuals who were groomed, right, to sit in City Hall, to sit in boardrooms, right? Though these individuals do not have our best interests at heart. If so, the city of San Jose would have stronger rent control. If so, the city of San Jose would have more economic equity, right? We would be able to make sure that a lot of this wealth generated here in Silicon Valley would be distributed to East San Jose, right? We wouldn't have the blight and crime levels that we do now, right? Career politicians are rooted in the status quo. We have enough politicians lawyers, MBA, business leaders who are in politics. We need regular people. We need working class people to run. Looking back at my story, I was never supposed to be an elected official. It wasn't in my cards, right? Let alone graduate high school or run for public office. But I defeated the odds, right? There was a lot of people who told me, people are going to bring up your past. People are going to stress that you used to be a gang member. And I flipped that to my positive, right? My story makes me stronger. Our stories make us stronger. No one can take away your lived experiences and how you view and take positions on these issues. We need you in public office. If you're not ready to run for public office, we need you in advocacy. We need you as a community organizer, because your voice will literally help how our elected officials choose to vote on these issues. I want to thank everyone for taking the time to listen to this. I hope that my message resonated with you. I hope that you take something from this conversation, and I just encourage you to continue to stay involved, continue to listen to other series on this podcast and videocast. We need more activists out here, and the only way we're going to bring real change is if we all get involved. Thank you.
I appreciate all y'all staying tuned to this episode of Audio Voices. I'm really grateful for all the support that I've been having from this podcast. For again capturing the voices of our community, for the voices of our barrios. And so as always, I just want to wish you all the best of luck. Much love también para todos. And again, there'll be more episodes coming out as consistently as I can. I'm always looking to do at least once a month for this time period until the summer comes around. And then after that, I have some more free time, and then I'll get to bless y'all with some more palabra from our community too. And so if y'all are interested in being in the podcast, feel free to reach out to me. Or if you want to nominate some folks to be in the podcast too, let me know. But regardless of that, continue to uplift our community, homies. Ahí nos vemos, and like always, y'all been in tune to Barrio Voices, where we highlight the voices of our barrios, familias, and communities. This is Velas, and to you all, much love. Cuídense. Órale.